new year. Shout it out loud, sing with the crowd. Celebrate 'cause good things are coming. New opportunities are at the door. Hold your head up, drop the sorrow. No regrets now for tomorrow. It's a new chance for a new life. Everything that you've been waiting for. The future's bright now as things turn over. The possibilities around the corner. New innovation with new creation. All the things that we have in store. Oh, it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. And there's hope in tomorrow, and there's nothing to fear. It's not coming, it's already here. Oh, it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. So sing and be happy and share the good cheer. It's not coming, it's already here. It's time to dream bigger dreams, where impossible is not as hard as it seems, and live in high hopes throughout your day, and know that happiness is quickly on its way. We're moving forward, we're going higher, we're reaching things that were formerly desired. Fun and excitement, it fills the air, and there's more than enough for us to share. Now it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year, and there's hope in tomorrow, and there's nothing to fear. It's not coming, it's already here. It's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. So sing and be happy and share the good news. It's not coming, it's already here. Thank you. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, I am. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Help me sing. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Hallelujah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Divinely given to me. Divinely given to me. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, yes, I am. Divinely given to me. I'm gonna let it shine. Divinely given to me. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I'm telling you, I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna let it shine. everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, I am. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Go back. Let it shine. 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 Let it shine.
Morning. Unity, community, a new year to shine. Yeah, let's do a lot of that this year. I am BJ Davis. I am the Director of Engagement and Youth Programs here at Unity, and we welcome our online community as well. We'll be blessing our youth this morning, but before we do that, I want to remind you that next Sunday, right after services, is our youth empowerment meeting. If you have thought about working with our youth, if you're ready to embrace some new energy, these kids are wise, they're creative, they're loving, they're kind, and they are needing your talents and your time. So it's not a year-long commitment. It can be a chaperone. It can be using one of your special skills or talents to teach our kids something new. You can be a lead teacher or an assistant teacher, but come next Sunday after service and listen to our amazing program. At this time, I'm going to ask my youth to join us here, or they can sit wherever they want, either way, and we're going to go ahead and bless them. I think they're going to stay where they are this morning. Yes, can everybody stand and let's bless our youth. There we go. I want you to think about a youth either here in the audience this morning or a special youth you might have on your heart. And with me, let's say these words. You are loved, special, and important, just the way you are. Thank you so much. And youth will be staying in the sanctuary today to be a part of our burning bowl ceremony. If you have a nursery or preschool, our classroom is open at this time.
Thank you, VJ, and thank you everyone for being here. Our very first service of 2022. I want to hear you. I want to feel your energy. You know, when they say Happy New Year, we're going to make it. It's about our choice, our decision. We know that as any year, there's many possibilities waiting for us, opportunities, but we know that life is life. There might be moments of conflict, opportunities for growth. We just stay open, receptive, willing to navigate, to be fully present to what shows up. Something that I heard recently in some of my communications, how we could pick to make gratitude our default. I want you to stay with that idea, that it doesn't matter how much I may deviate, I can come back to my default of gratitude, being willing to see the blessing in everything, an opportunity for more expansion internally. So as we move on with our service this morning, which is about release, we are going to have our traditional burning bowl service in which we are given flash paper in which we can just write what we feel is ready to be let go of. But I encourage you this morning to think about what would really prevent me from being in that default of gratitude. How do I block that? What habit in me has to change? And maybe it might be something pops up that you might want to release this morning. So before I do my prayer, I would love to just remind everybody of our statement of faith and mission. And before we affirm it together, just take a look at the power of that sentence. There's really only one presence, one power. In all of this universe and in our lives, and it's absolute good, it's kindness, it's generosity, it's beauty. So now that you have maybe gone deeper with this realization, affirm with me together. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And here at Unity of the Triangle, we have a very sacred mission. So join me in affirming that and making it your own together. We are a spiritual community awakening to our divine nature through love, service, and personal transformation. And now join me in a prayer. So let us pray. We just take a short moment of silence. To let that light be. Cindy, with all her energy, was saying, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. What if that would become your goal this year? To be the light of this world. Like Jesus would say, I am the light of this world. This is our true nature, our only mission, to be that expression in our everyday, in our workspace, in our families, in our communities, as we meet new people. We'd like for you at this moment to just smile. Even like the song says, even your heart might be aching, just smile. As a symbol that I'm ready for a new wonderful year because I'm going to make it so. Because I can always manage my perception. Because I can always choose. And today, together, as we start our year, we make it our aim and our goal to be the light. To let that little light of mine shine in every way, at every moment. With extreme gratitude for having an opportunity to have one more year ahead, we say and affirm, truly affirm, thank you, God. Thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And hopefully you're back here fully receptive to some announcements that I'm going to give to you. Next Sunday, the 9th at 11, we're going to have a service that we traditionally call it the letter writing service, but this time we have called it Creating from Higher Love. Each new year, we're giving opportunities for growth and blessings. It is possible not because this year is new itself, but because we happen to be more receptive to a new mindset. Here at Unity of the Triangle, every year we offer a service in which we can create a space for reflection and creation. And this year, 2022, we will give it a different twist, one that we know will be both liberating and empowering. So please join us, and those of you who might be online, you can still join us and do everything that we're going to do, but just show up. I think it's going to be important to co-create a wonderful year. And then the upcoming Sunday, the 16th, we'd like for everybody to come back at 4. We're going to have a bilingual service to celebrate the 5 years of Unity of the Triangle Español community. And I really look forward to the celebration I always feel that it's like my baby, and it's like one of my children's 5th birthday celebration. We were gonna have a dance and dinner, and we're gonna put that off for later in the year, but we're definitely gonna have the service. We're gonna bring one of our great musicians from the island, devotional singers. His name is Robert Garcia, and he's going to be singing and playing for us. So you might just experience Unity in a different way from a different culture. So please join us either online or in person. Then by the end of this month, January 30th, we're going to have another congregational meeting, and we will be discussing budget and leadership and the leadership selection ministry. We're currently soliciting members to serve on the leadership selection ministry to select new members. If you are a Unity member and are interested in serving, please contact Holly Bear by next Sunday, January 9th. I'm done with my announcements, and now we're ready to stand up and just welcome the presence in one another as we sing the welcome song.
Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things.
Just let our bodies become relaxed. Let your mind become relaxed. Let us focus for a moment on our breath. And the breath becomes what we're paying attention to so that our minds can stay on one thing. So should your mind wander, bring it back. Let's bring a focus to the breath. Let it be in the center of the chest. Let it feel as though you're breathing into and out of the center of the chest. Feeling the breath as it comes and goes. Let the body relax more deeply. See if you can release any tension you're carrying anywhere in your body by breathing into that space. Now let's begin the release work of anything emotional or mental we are carrying. Bring to mind that which you would like to release. And as you do so, see if there are any feelings or emotion that arise with it. If there are emotions arising with it, feel those completely. Do not try to hide from them or disguise them or diminish them at this moment. That which is felt completely often disappears. So without extending the story another time in your head, just feel the experience. So as we feel those feelings and do not tell the story, we consume the energy of that experience. If there's a particular place in the body that the experience seems strongest, especially feel into that, and yet do not hold on to the feeling. Just experience it. I am here to complete this process, to feel what needs to be felt, so that it might go on its own. If it is leaving you at this moment, bless it for its wisdom it has given you, for the fullness of the experience of both the high, the low, the good and the bad. Bless it and commit yourself, if it is finished, to not returning to the story and starting the experience over again, but letting that go as well. Release and be at peace. And let us sit together as we process our own experience in this holy and sacred space, in the silence.
Give us this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all my needs according to thy riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive, to go from here and share this love you gave to me, to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and peace, though they can be free like me, free like me. Lord, we are your love. Lord, we this day.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Happy New Year. I don't know how y'all spent your New Year's Eve. I was alone, and not tragically, but alone. And I did a bit of meditating and reading spiritual books, and also watching a futuristic murder mystery. Of course, that was a complete night for me. It felt really good. I had a good time. And then I caught a comedian, and I've shared this with a couple of people, but I want to tell y'all the funniest line, which was his first joke. So the comedian has this big audience. He can not really see it all that well. A little bit too bright of lights, but he can see out in the audience. He says, okay, everybody, how many of you think we've kind of overdone it with this COVID thing? Got done too much. And the roar comes up from the crowd, from about half of them. He goes, yeah, you know, a lot of survivors have that opinion. I thought it summed it up pretty well. So I think one of the things we're going to have to do is just release this whole experience of feeling cramped and tight. And you may not, because we have had some reaction to the potential danger of the virus. And so might be something you want to put on your little slip of paper. Did everybody get one? If you didn't, we will get somebody to give you a little piece of paper. These little pieces of paper are so small. How small are they? Let me think. I don't know. I'll get back to you. But they're really small. You can't write your whole story on it, right? Which is kind of good. Because haven't you noticed that telling the story is really part of the problem? Now, for those of us who've wanted to release something in our life, often that story seems to come to us unbidden. It kind of arises in our consciousness, and we replay the whole thing, and then we feel really terrible about it. Let's say something's happened to us. But we have this habit of going through the whole, maybe not every single scene, but enough of the scenes to trigger an emotional response. I suppose somewhere along the line, this was good for our evolution, that we would remember stuff that hurt us, that bothered us, so we wouldn't go back and do it again. But there also needs to be a stop point on this. Now, one of the good things about having the story repeat is that you can then re-examine it. However, unlike what we usually think about our minds and our memories, is they're not recordings. What they actually happen to do is be changed every time we tell the story. And so every time you repeat a memory, you add or delete something, and it becomes changed over time. So unfortunately, you're actually recreating the very experience you're having. You're not only remembering it, you're making it. So in stopping the story, you accomplish two things. First, you don't make more trouble for yourself, but you also begin the process of releasing it. And to release it, you need to feel it. And this is not a bad thing. It just feels bad. If you are strong in your willingness to let it go, it will feel bad, for sure. Awful, sometimes. But it actually, if you could become a bit more curious, it becomes awful only in some places in your body or in some place in your mind. It's not your whole of you. It just feels awful. And it feels awful because really, in part, because we don't know how to deal with those emotions. And so rather than handling them, we do everything we can to avoid them, and therefore we don't complete the process. The process of releasing something using this technique, the process of releasing it is really the process of feeling it without the story. And without the story is the critical thing. You will feel it if you've started the story. It will come up. Great. Now, if you can put a period at the end of that and go straight to feeling it, you have a chance to release it. It may take a couple of times. But even some of your worst experiences can be consumed by feeling them. And it may take a week or two. It may take longer than that. It may take a while. But as you feel it and do not tell the story, you stop adding fuel to the flame of your suffering. And you begin to be free. Now, I know I've said this many times in the past, or at least that's my memory. And I am pretty sure about this. If I said, how many people remember me saying this? A lot of them would say, I do. And I would go, yeah, that's what most survivors say. Really, it's kind of the truth is we tend to discount what I just said. We tend to go away from the feeling and we go back to our own way of dealing with it. I suggest you try this one. I was in a meditation retreat, 30-day meditation retreat. Well, if you've been on a meditation retreat where you're not allowed to talk, you realize you're really dealing with your own stuff. I'm dealing with my own stuff. I go to the teacher and I tell her what I'm doing, and I don't know when she told me this, if she have ever said it before, but in that moment I was really looking for a cure, and I heard it. And I said, you've said this before, haven't you? And she looked at me like she had just found the dumbest person in the world. And I think this could be a real gem for us if we will practice it. Feel the feelings, stop the story. A way of getting rid of stuff. Second way, another thing we have done here often is this ho'oponopono. Now, ho'oponopono comes from a unitive consciousness way of thinking, as opposed to a dualistic way of thinking. In a dualistic way of thinking, I'm over here and the world is over there. There's a separation, and it's often the way we experience life. Maybe most of us, most of the time, we experience this life as this way, that I'm in here and I'm having my own separate experience and the world is out there. Now, we often think that the world is doing it to us to cause us to have this, but we think of it as over there, pushing into us, which we don't like. Now, to do ho'oponopono, you shift your consciousness from dualism to unitive consciousness. One thing. Start with the idea that there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good. Start with that idea. And then move to this profound way of seeing the world. The profound way of seeing the world is that anything that is in my consciousness is mine. Mine. I should own at least the experience of it, and since I am part of the whole world, I own it as the world. And we think of events as discrete things that happen out there that affect us, but no, it is we're in this together. And when the one presence, does something, we may experience it in the body as emotions or as sensations. However, it's one whole field of consciousness. And what we're asking to do when we ask to release this or to change it or to modify it is that we ask that whatever is causing that be released, that it be taken out. So a great example of that is the coronavirus. We may have the sickness, the COVID-19. We may have COVID-19, but it's in the world. It's the same virus that is in Africa or Europe or Asia. It's the same virus. It looks, but it's in me. I feel it, but it's everywhere. And the prayer would be, using this analogy, take this virus from us, from me. It can be said, take this from me or take from all of us. And the way this thing plays out is that as you pray, as you release it for everybody. Now, it may not be totally gone everywhere in the world, but it is the beginning of it being totally gone everywhere in the world when it is released from your being. So the virus is essentially the problem and not you, and not the other person, and not the events in the world. The virus, the thought virus, the infection of consciousness is the problem. And our job in praying, ho'oponopono, is to release it, to get rid of it. Now, the words that have come down to us for this prayer might sound awkward, but they actually fit the way it feels. And the words there are 4 sentences, and the first one is, I'm sorry. Now, when you recognize that you have COVID-19, aren't you sorry? I feel it is what that means. I feel it. I have the experience of it. I'm sorry. Boom, it's in me. I can tell that. It's affected me. It could be the news. It could be a loved one is suffering. It could be our own suffering. It could be something that we did, something they did. I feel it. I'm sorry. And the next one is, please forgive me. Now, the please forgive me would, in a dualistic thing, would be, please, God, forgive me. I've sinned against thee. Please forgive me. Don't punish me. I don't want to suffer at your hand. Please forgive me. Have mercy on my soul. Not that. Please forgive me means take the virus out. Please release me. So once again, if you had had a cold, please release me. Please forgive me. Forgive me for having this experience. I'm not the problem. It is a virus in my consciousness. Take that out. Please forgive me. You could fall into dualistic thinking using these words, but if another sentence or two works better for you, this is the way I was taught. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Once you've done that, what you're hoping for is a sense of release, that something pops out, or a click happens, or a softening, or an awakening, or something. For me, it just feels like the same that happens when I'm doing meditation and I drop into that, whatever that is over there. You know, you're working at it, and then you're into it. It's that feeling is how it comes to me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. The release. And then what would come next? I thank you. Thank you. Obvious. I feel better. I'm released. The world is released. I'm releasing the world. Thank you. And it is because when you say, please forgive me, you're talking to yourself. You're talking to your higher self. You're talking to all that is. You're talking to the great I am. All that is the same object of your request. Please forgive me. And then you say thank you to all that. And this is the beginning of that state of gratitude that Anna was mentioning. You're grateful. And then what would come next? A sense of love, of union with all that is. No need to protect, no fear, just this expanded state. Love. And so the next words are, I love you. Now, it's been my experience when working with a fairly complicated thing, ho'oponopono, that I go, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you, and I go, yeah, but. Which means it's time to go back to the beginning for the but, I'm sorry. That but is also a virus in your consciousness. It's also a virus in the world. So we're here to clear that too. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And until I love you becomes just the way it is for you, this is a process that you can continue to work with. And Dr. Lin, who is the famous psychologist who use this to empty out a criminal insane ward in a hospital. He'd never even tried to do therapy with anybody. He just read their chart and owned it. Their chart, he owned. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. And within a reasonably short period of time, a year or two, there was nobody in there. That's wild, isn't it? I've told this story before. There was somebody yelling in an apartment complex I was living in. And they were really beginning to frighten me, how vicious the anger was. And I started doing ho'oponopono on him. And I realized that I had the same anger inside of me. I was just as angry as they were. I just was quiet about it. I kept doing it. Now we're talking 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The anger is still going on. I'm getting that it's me. At that point, I got really clear. I'm sorry. And my ask to be forgiven was sincere. And the shouting stopped. That moment, and never came back. Thank you. I love you. It's magic. It's magic when we... What is magic anyway? Magic is when someone can affect something without touching it. Isn't that true? Isn't that what we call magic? Like, how did they do that? Well, maybe not sawing them in half, but, you know, most of the... Magic. It's magic that you are part of everything. And so if you use yourself as part of everything, you can affect that without even being in touch physically or verbally with it. So now we have a couple of ways of doing this. And now we're going to use the burning roll, which is the third way. In the burning bowl, it's about intention. It's really about intention. So you only have a little scrap of paper, and you have a pen, hopefully, and if you need anything, just raise your hand, and we'll find somebody to give you what you need. But this idea is that you write it down, and you set an intention to get rid of it. And you ask that which is more capable than you're feeling at the moment, of which you are still a part, to release it from you. To release it from you. Intention is like ringing the bell at Downton Abbey. Here comes the forces to handle it. And they are unseen, and it can be like magic, where you write it down to release it and you intend it. But it might be really good to be very, very clear you intend to release it. Not like, oh, it'd be nice if I didn't have this anymore. That's about how good it will happen, probably. Pretty well, it might happen. But if you intend it, like when it dawns on you, this is suffering. This is unrighteous living. It is not complete. I'm not living my best. Whatever it is, intend it. Write it down. And then when you walk up here, do your prayer. May this be taken from me. May this be taken from me. May this be taken from me. I release, I let go. I release, I let go. Let it be so. However you say it, do it. Now the way it'll work here is that that piece of paper you've been given is flash paper. It's magic paper. So you'll write on it. You'll throw it, if it just comes close to a flame, it just flashes up. You could hold it in your hand, it wouldn't burn you. But to be safe, just drop it in there. We have a bunch of candles inside this bowl. It will burn. If it doesn't burn, I'll come back later and burn it. I'll reach in there and get it and take it out and stick it in the flame. So don't worry about it. Just let it be. Just release it when you drop it. It will burn up at some point. And then go to your seat and contemplate your intent to let it go. Contemplate it. And see if you can feel that shift coming. And if you have felt it and it feels complete, then don't come back to it. Do not come back to it. Let it go. Because you've done the work. You've invited that which is everything to join you in this so that you can be free of it. It's my belief that once you release it, you don't have to experience it over and over again. It doesn't have to come to you in a new form. It doesn't have to be repeated. Once we've got the lesson and we've released it, we're free. So let's live that way. Let's really go for it. I mean, after all, it's 2022. How many of you thought you would ever see that year? Holy moly. I remember when I was a kid thinking 2000 seemed to, well, actually 1990 seemed a long way away. But then it was 2000, now it's 2010, now it's 2020, now it's 2022. At what point in my life should I be willing to release and live a free life? How about now? Okay, so the way it'll work is that you'll fill out your thing. We're going to have, Jay's going to play some music to inspire us to do it. When you're ready, we're not going to do it by rows. When you're ready, just come up and put it in. And when we're done, we'll move on to the singing phase of this process. So let's begin. I release, how's that? I let go. Huh? You have? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was a time in my life when I thought I'd have to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I know if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. Yes, I do. And my arms are open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, yes, I'm only here. I'm only here for God. Yes, I am.
Yes. Wow, Cindy. I love to have you around. Thank you for bringing your energy, sis. We think about it, we're really releasing fear. And when fear is relieved, there's only love left over. For there are only two energies. There's really only one. And once you're liberated, it's like dancing as if no one would be looking, loving as if you've never been hurt, and of course, giving freely and generously. And today is the very first giving opportunity of the year. So we'd love for you to give from that space of no fear, only love, knowing that as we give, we will receive more so that we can give more, so that we can receive more, and that's the cycle of abundance. That's how it works. But it all starts in our consciousness and being free from fear. So at this very moment, I'm going to ask you to join me in this affirmation while reminding everybody that there are different ways of doing that. We'd like for our ushers to step forward. Besides writing a check or giving cash, remind you that we got our square machines and also texting and all of that. If you want to make it easier this year, go ahead and become an automatic giver. Forget about it. Okay, together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give and all that I receive. And now we're going to listen to some beautiful instrumental music as we share the love in our form of giving.
Without hearing the words of Hafiz, I saw this today and I thought it applies to our experience. The title of this poem is The Sun in Drag. You are the sun in drag. You are God hiding from yourself. Remove all the mine and the veil will be lifted. Why ever worry about anything? Listen to what your friend Hafiz knows for certain. The appearance of this world is a magi's brilliant trick, though its affairs are nothing into nothing. You are a divine elephant with amnesia, trying to live in an anthole. Sweetheart, oh sweetheart, you are God in drag. Let's all stand as they play. Let the love.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be.
Happy New Year! And let's all affirm our prayer of protection with a lot of power as a symbol of what this year is going to be. So, together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. wherever we are, God is, and all is well. To a great 2022.